Yo, what's good, everyone? Welcome back to another Jets episode on the Knicks, Jets, etc. podcast. It's been so long since I've talked with you guys, since I've talked to Greg on the mic. We've had so much going on in our personal lives, honestly, in the sports world, whether it comes to USA with the CONCACAF and the Gold Cup. It's been kind of crazy over there. We got Messi coming to America, but we're really here for the New York Jets, man. The New York Jets, Greg. When there's an off season, there's no off season for the New York Jets. I mean,
Yeah.
we had it with the Aaron Rodgers stuff. This right now we're supposed to be focusing on the Knicks in the summer league. That was like a quick fuel.
Yep.
And that burned off fast, and it's right back to the Jets, man. We started off with the Aaron Rodgers coming in hot. Whether he's going to get traded or not, finally gets traded, comes into camp when he's never been to camp before. And the OTAs, all the rookies are in town. Everybody's talking about Breece Hall coming off injury, Garrett Wilson, the new guy, right? Oh, there's so much buzz, so much hype, as there should be. Now we're in the lull of the season. We said that Quinnen Williams has to get done. And boy, oh boy, Greg, did Quinnen Williams get done. Thank God. Thank God. We're going to get to the hard knock stuff. We're going to get to all of the hoopla surrounding the New York Jets. But just thank God this one fuse was put to bed before we report in a week. We report in 1 week, Greg.
We start early. Because of the Hall of Fame game. It's crazy.
What are your thoughts, man? Quinnen Williams. And what up, Astros off the chain, bro? I missed you guys. I miss talking Jets, man.
Yeah. Find us live. Come in, chat with us. I mean, dude, the smile on Q Will's face says it all. He's smiling. I'm smiling. We're all smiling. I mean, it wasn't about the money, but damn, he's the second highest paid defensive tackle of the league behind Aaron Donald. And I think rightfully so. I mean, we've talked about it. I've talked about it. He needed to be productive last year. You know, his production is top of the league. I think one of the graphics that was really going around Twitter a lot was, the sack win rate or whatever the metric was with Q Will on the field. The Jets were first. We were 31st without him on the field. Like, that's just how important he is to this defense. As long as he's healthy and he's motivated and he's out there fighting, we're one of the top defenses in the league. So to your point, to get this done and squared up before we get into all the drama that a lot of teams are going through right now with people not getting paid, people, not taking deals, whatever it is. We got this huge contract figured out. It's great for us. I think it's a decent contract overall. It's not crazy money any 1 year. Looks kind of favorable. So I'm happy, man. I'm very happy. He's a young guy, top guy out of Alabama. He showed it last year. We just need to keep this. We need this Q Will every year for the next 4 years. We can't slip back to Q Will from 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
That's a great point. And no one wants to bring that up because we have we call it orange and blue glasses on MSG. I guess here it's what? Gotham green and stealth black glasses that we're rocking here when we're thinking about Quinnen Williams because of his unbelievable season. And we're talking contract. It was his contract year, man. It was his contract year, and he absolutely crushed it. We talked about the cap a lot going into the season, right? We had a lot of what should the Jets do? What is this looking like here? When it came to Quinnen Williams, it's great with this contract because this year it stays the same.
Yep.
Nothing changes with this year. It's an extension that starts next season. What's fantastic is when you really look at it, it's actually just a 2-year guaranteed deal. Like it's $61 million in the 2024 season and the 2025 season. 60 mil. After that, we can get off 9.8 mil. After that, I can get off at 5 mil, which he's going to want an extension by then, obviously. Right. So that's what they were fighting about. That was all the news that they were fighting about, that 5th year. It looks like they kind of both won because, yeah, sure, it's a fake 5th year. Quinnen Williams is not going to be I know it's a $30 million cap hit, but it's $4 million off the dead cap. I'm sure that's going to be restructured in some sort of way if Quinnen Williams is still at a high pace. What I really thought was interesting was a nice little tidbit that came from Brad from Spotrac. he mentioned in his article today in Over the Cap. Yeah, and also Jason on overthecap.com. They both had it. Talked about what the patience of the New York Jets brought with this deal. And this is a little nitty gritty, a little specific, but if you want to, just a quick note, the Jeffrey Simmons deal, the other defensive tackle,
Yep.
his partial guarantee for 2025 vests in March of 2025 as opposed to a year earlier, 2024. We copied that and put that in the Quinnen Williams deal. Another thing is the Dexter Lawrence deal has a really high per game roster bonus. So his checks are per week rather than upfront. And we kind of stole that as well. So, there was a lot of posturing by the media where it was like, what's the point of the Jets waiting? We all know what he's going to get paid. The market's already set. Let's just get this done, right? The Jets are just, they're basically playing with fire. But it looks like they took some precedent, even though it doesn't, to the average Joe, it's not a big deal. But for the Jets and their finances, it is a big deal because don't forget that Aaron Rodgers cap hit, that $1 million cap hit. And now all we're hearing in the background is Aaron Rodgers really told them it's a 3-year deal, right? It's a 3-year commitment. So things are going to change here. Things are going to move around here. So it is interesting to keep it flexible. I'm really happy Quinnen Williams is signed.
Yeah, first round pick since Mo Wilkerson to get extended. Do you think JD did it with Garrett Wilson and Sauce? Do you think both those guys? I mean, I know it's early to talk about it. Still a few years until this has to come up. But do you think we have more first-round picks on the roster that are going to get extended? Do you think that we're trending in the right direction on first-round picks? Or do you think maybe over the next year or two, we're going to learn some things about some guys and we're in a bad spot with first-round picks still?
So the Charlie Ward curse is officially broken. Right? we have finally re-signed a first-round pick. I am hyped about that. You mentioned Sauce Gardner. You mentioned Garrett Wilson. Two very interesting positions, okay? Because 2 seconds ago, Greg, you talked about how some people today, right, on Monday, July 17th, on franchise tag deadline day, didn't get re-signed. Those were all running backs, right? We could talk about that in a little bit, especially when it comes to a player like Breece Hall, who coming off an injury, that's it. It's almost like that's it. Even if he has 2,000 yards every single season, gets the most touchdowns, he's still not going to get the highest contract, which is crazy.
No, and he's early second round, so he loses that 5th-year option or whatever, like a lot of the first rounders want. So he's in a tough spot.
It's really crazy, right? So we're talking about the wide receiver position and the cornerback position. When it's time, they're gonna get paid. In my opinion, I don't even think it's a question. Actually, I believe that the Jets are posturing now with their contracts so that when Sauce is ready to get extended, when Garrett Wilson is ready to get extended, they're gonna have the money, like the Q Will money, right? It fades off by then. Aaron Rodgers kind of gonna be off the books by then. Their books are gonna be empty when they have to sign their big guys because they know they're gonna be strapped for cash.
Jermaine Johnson, pass rusher. That's the last name we haven't mentioned from the first round last year. I mean, those are all 3 impactful positions that if everyone plays well, and like Q Will, like you said too, in 2 years from now, we could be looking at an extension to keep him around. I think the Jets would be so excited to keep all these guys and sign these guys as long as they keep playing well. And I think it's a great deal for Q Will to round this out a little bit. That we got, because to your point, it's like a 2-year deal. It's right in our window. He needs to keep performing. He can't take a year off. If he takes a year off, then we're right back into the same conversations we were having going into the season about it's a make or break year, blah, 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 all this stuff. The market was set. He delivered. We got it done. I'm very happy with the Q Will contract. And to your point, I thought it was kind of cool that Spot Track kind of pointed out we pulled from these other deals and made something happen. And we're not stuck in our ways. We're flexible. JD's willing to get stuff done. He's willing to use the most up-to-date contracts to get some incentives and to help the Jets organization in the long run. I thought that was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I mean, we have adults in the room. It's no question about it. And I guess we could jump to the topic that's, I mean, for good reason, it is the national news because it's the national NFL show, and that's Hard Knocks. And we talk about adults in the room. At some point, we have to start believing what they're saying. right? At some point, yes, some of it is BS and they're trying to, lead us astray. I get it. But at some point, we have to take what they're saying at face value. For example, just a couple weeks ago, feels like years ago, just a couple weeks ago, when Coach Salah was asked about Quinnen Williams, he almost laughed it off. Though I'm not worried about it. He's gonna get signed. Kind of like, let's just move on. Ask me the next. Like, do not worry about that. That's all straight. And we kind of took it as words, as lip service, right? Hard Knocks. They asked him about Hard Knocks. He had a pretty hard stance on the fact that, number one, they don't want Hard Knocks. Two, if they get it, they will comply. But three, they really don't want Hard Knocks. Like, it was like a sandwich. Like, of course, the news is we are forced to officially have Hard Knocks back at One Jets Drive, not to be confused with the propaganda show One Jets Drive, who was nominated for like 19 Emmy Awards for how great the propaganda has been. I'm excited to personally see the juxtaposition between the Hard Knocks negativity, especially because we hate them as an organization, so they're gonna hate us back. And then the One Jets Drive, which is literal flower and gold, and everything is amazing at every turn you take. The one news that's already come out from Adam Schefter is the Jets, at the very least, are not going to let cameras into the cut rooms, where you get to watch the player be released and then cry and then do a side interview talking about how sad he is and how he's going to come back and how he has chip on his shoulder. I'm really happy about that. But to be honest with you, I'm not excited about this whole Hard Knocks business. Aaron Rodgers came out on the golf. Was it the Golf Network that had the interview? I'm not sure anymore which network it was, but he was playing golf. They asked him about whether or not he is excited about Hard Knocks. Right away told the interviewer that they pushed Hard Knocks down their throat. Very pretty graphic.
It sounds like they did. I mean, it sounds like the NFL really pushed for this. I mean, I heard a couple things today about how, they were trying to get to the Commanders as an alternative, but the sale hasn't really gone through. So, they couldn't do that. So they were looking at other options. And I mean, the whole national media is talking about the Jets. So it makes sense to me that we're stuck with this. It sucks that we're stuck with this because I don't like any of this stuff. I feel like we got a good thing going. I don't want to mess it up. I don't want any more attention. I don't want any more of this. I just want to get to the season. Everyone stay healthy and let's have a good season. It's interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see the difference between Hard Knocks and One Jets Drive. I wonder how much detail we're going to get on One Jets Drive versus Hard Knocks, like the storylines that they're going to kind of pick out. I'm very excited to see how that all shakes out.
You going to watch both?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just making sure.
Absolutely.
Speaking of hype, it's not all about the front office. It's not all about the media. There's actual hype, Greg. Tickets today for training camp came out at 11 o'clock, 11:04. They were sold out. First 4 practices to go. You're going to have to leave work, your actual job, and go watch other people practice. They're barely going to, we're talking about practice. They're barely going to interact with you. They're going to act like they hate that you're there, even though they're actually happy that you're there. And it's going to be 100 degrees. Personally, I can't wait to be there. I know that sounds terrible the way I present it. I can't wait to be there. But I'm telling you, there's something special happening when it comes to the New York Jets. It's prefaced by, of course, Aaron Rodgers, and the league understands it by putting the primetime games. The league understands it by forcing us to have Hard Knocks. The league understands it by giving us the first Black Friday game. And it seems like the average Joe Schmo fan also gets it because
the
first 4 practices are sold out.
That's true. You see Warren Sharp, it was a little gambling thing. You see Warren Sharp talking about how we have the easiest schedule by far in the NFL. Based
After week
on
6?
like his metrics and stuff, based on like rest, matchups, like everything. Like he just listed like 3 or 4 things. Like he's like, it's all
Well, it seems like Greg has left us for the moment. He was talking about our strength of schedule. So when he gets back in, having some technical difficulties, we'll get him to finish off there with Warren Sharp. But with the New York Jets schedule, the first 6 weeks, as you see scrolling on the bottom, if you're watching on the YouTube, and if you are watching on YouTube, please give us that like and subscribe. We are having an overhaul here, but we could use the subscribers, get us monetized on the YouTube side of things. That would be fantastic. Anyway, the first 6 weeks of the New York Jets schedule is brutal, right? Then we have the week 7 bye coming back, the October game that everybody cares about the most. I'm so happy we're coming off a bye for the Jets Giants. But then I think we're home versus the Chargers, then we're away to Vegas, back to Buffalo, and then the rest of the schedule is pretty darn easy. However, I caution you, if you're listening to this right now, talking about easy schedules, remember what we thought last year, right? I don't want to think about that Lions game. I don't want to think about that blown coverage on the 4th down. I don't want to think about the Jacksonville game on that wretched Thursday. But the end of the schedule, man, it looks pretty good. The last thing that we'll talk about here is the news of Dalvin Cook. Dalvin has been teasing the Jets, in my opinion, for the last couple of weeks. There has been this mention in the rumor mill about how D-Hopkins and Dalvin Cook might join sides somewhere. That's definitely not going to be happening, as D-Hopkins officially signed with the Tennessee Titans. Tennessee Titans were rumored to get rid of Derrick Henry. Now Derrick Henry's not going anywhere. So Derrick Henry, Hopkins in Tennessee with Vrabel and Tannehill. Tannehill contract year for him. Derrick Henry contract year for him. Hopkins trying to stay back on the map. So there's that. What's up, Greg? Welcome back.
Hey, sorry about that.
You're all right. We'll get back to you on the strength of schedule. I'm just trying to mention right now a little bit of the Dalvin Cook and Hopkins situation.
Yep.
In Tennessee, it looks like the holdup, in my opinion, when it comes to now Dalvin Cook, is the money. Right? It's the same holdup with Dalvin Cook. It's the same holdup with Kwon Alexander. And honestly, it's the same kind of idea in the NFL, where it's a non-premium position, according to everybody, and they're not going to pay them, right? We see what's going on with the franchise tags, as Greg mentioned in the beginning. Jacobs, Saquon, nobody's getting paid. Even Eckler, earlier in the season, he had to restructure. I mean, none of the running backs are getting paid. Who doesn't want Derrick Henry, right?
It's crazy.
Jamal Williams led the league in touchdowns. Sure, some of them were a little bit fugazi. He barely got any cash. So there's a little stigma there. I believe that's the issue. Or, if I'm being quite honest, with safeties, it's the same stigma, but as soon as we had an injury, Amos got paid immediately. So maybe Dalvin Cook is just waiting for that injury around the league, right? Is Zeke even signed yet?
Nope.
Pollard didn't get. He's going to be on the franchise, but he just got injured. So I understand that one out of all of them. But what are your thoughts on D-Hop? What are your thoughts on Dalvin Cook? And then, before you were so rudely interrupted by bad service, let us know what you think about that strength of schedule and Mr. Sharp.
Yeah, I just thought it was an interesting thing that he pointed out. I mean, all signs are pointing towards the league wanting us to have a good season, which is awesome to hear as a Jets fan. For D-Hop, I just think it's interesting. I mean, we heard some things from, I don't know if it was from him or from his camp, about he wants to win. He wants to be on a contender. The odds certainly looked like it, to start. I put the bet in the instant I heard about it for him to lead the league in passing yards. I don't think that's going to happen in Tennessee with Tannehill, Malik Willis, whoever they got down there throwing the ball.
Well,
so that's
Tannehill, man. It's Tannehill City right now.
Yeah, it's looking like a bad ticket, but that's just a weird signing, I think, for them as an organization. I mean, you don't pay A.J. Brown, but instead you draft someone in the first round and then you sign him. They needed wide receiver help for sure, so they got it. And then for the running back situation as a whole, I mean, it seems like league wide that the running back position, like we've talked about for past few years, is just not a premium position pay wise. And it's coming to fruition for a lot of these guys. It's kind of crazy to see. I know it's a pass happy league. I didn't think it was this pass happy. I mean, these guys are instrumental in championship winning teams. Not everyone has Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Like, you need a run game. I know some of the best teams in the league don't have much of a run game, but they're far and few between. So I know one thing that stuck out to me with the Q Will contract is, are we sitting on a pile of cash now? Like, do you think we use some of that money to pay Dalvin Cook or one of these other guys, whatever a little bit of premium, I guess, if you will, for the market rate for a running back right now, just get someone signed and on the roster? Do you think we kind of waited out a little bit too to see how these kind of dominoes fall around the league with these running backs?
Well, it looks like we have at the moment close to 26 mil. Not sure if all of our rookies are signed. I believe they are, but let's just call it 25 mil.
Yeah.
At the moment, we have cash to
Yeah.
spend. However, listen, man, if the Jets are serious about being Super Bowl contenders, we need a rainy day fund. Okay, because our entire season can't end if CJ Mosley gets hurt. It can't end. Like, the season can't end if Chuck Clark gets hurt and we can't afford a safety. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? The season can't end if honest to God, like, I don't want to put this out. I mean, if one of our premium players, okay, I'm
Yeah.
not even without a name, one of our premium players at any of our positions, whether it's cornerback, whether it's quarterback, whether it's wide receiver, whether it's our tight ends are pretty deep, whether it's D line's pretty deep. Honestly, linebacker really scares me.
Yeah.
Right? If there's a major injury anywhere and we're a serious team, we need to have a rainy day fund. That I think that's what the 25 mil is for. I don't think the 25 mil is to give Dalvin Cook 17. Like, I don't think that's what
No,
it's
but I
for.
think pay him $10 million, maybe not all guaranteed, 8 guaranteed, 10
Let me ask
million,
you a question.
2-year
Let me ask,
contract.
let me ask you a question, Greg. Do you honestly, like, deep in your core, like, if you had to bet like 10 grand on it right now, is Corey Davis playing this year with the New York Jets? I know it's everyone keeps saying yes, and I just talked about how when coach says it, just believe it. He says, Corey Davis is staying. Do you think there's any part of you with this non-guaranteed money? That's 10 mil right there. That's Dalvin
Yeah.
Cook. You could literally trade Corey Davis for Dalvin Cook in a fantasy trade right now. No salary cap mention, nothing. Like,
Yep. Cut
no
one side,
nonsense.
one year back to go. Dude, I think he's gonna get some time. I think if this relationship develops between him and Rodgers, I don't think he was around for like the OTA stuff or whatever. But
No.
if this relationship develops between them, dude, Rodgers, when he's cooking, can feed 3 wide receivers, and Corey Davis would be the 3rd wide receiver. I mean, I think there's a high possibility. I would say like a 60%, 65% possibility Corey Davis has like 800 yards and like 8 touchdowns this season. I really do think it could
Wow.
happen.
Okay, so
Um,
he's staying.
and I think at 800 yards and 8 touchdowns, he might be the 3rd best wide receiver on this league, on this team. Like, I think Rodgers, if he gets going with this, Nathaniel Hackett offense, the last time we saw these two together, it was 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns. So I'm hoping we get some of that back in New York. We'll see how it goes.
So funny. My cousin Mikey turns on NFL Network today. The wild card game is on, and Aaron Rodgers throwing that interception
Yeah.
from a couple of years ago. He's like, "Is this what's gonna happen? Is this what we all signed up for?" So yeah, we have positive vibes. We have negative vibes. We have training camp, Greg, 1 week away because of this Hall of Fame game. Do we want to talk a little bit about the background stuff of the Hall of Fame game first? Or do we want to talk about the New York Jets depth chart?
I'm down to do whatever one you want. Let's do depth chart.
Okay. So, training camp, as Greg leaves, training camp is all about battles. It's all about which of your players that you've been following that you're irrationally obsessed with is going to get the final nod into the lineup. For me, that name is usually somebody like Lawrence Cager. Shout out to him who's on the Giants now, the converted wide receiver tight end from Georgia. That's sometimes Bam Knight, the running back from NC State that finally got on the map halfway through the season after we made a trade for James Robinson. Weird timing. There's always these battles that personally, this is what makes me, quote unquote, the obsessive Jets fan, right? Like when people call me out, they say, "Oh, because you're the one, the 53rd player, of course." That's the fun part here. So there's the battles in training camp that are going to be widely known, right? We're going to have cameras everywhere. So there's going to be the widely known ones, right? It's going to be left tackle, right? The Dwayne Brown situation versus Mekhi Becton. Or is it really just Mekhi Becton at right tackle? Because there's really, Billy Turner really going to be the right tackle? Do we trust Max Mitchell, with his blood clots? Is he good? I don't know. So we have the left tackle situation. We also have Mekhi Becton maybe just filling in there at right. So we have the tackle spots that are really open. We have this center spot that, in my opinion, is more of a challenge than it appears on paper. We got Connor McGovern. Oh, hold up, Greg. He's back. We got Connor McGovern, who had a tough year. Everybody wants to cut him. We ended up re-signing him for a really small amount of money, and we got the center that the Jets loved and everyone loved going into the draft at Joe Tippmann. So sticking on the offensive line, that for me is where I am paying the most attention. Yes, sure, the tackle positions is important. I think it's going to just fill in where Dwayne Brown's left, Mekhi Becton's right, and it's a contract year for Mekhi Becton, so he's just going to shut up and do what he's told and kill it, right? Like all three of those things. That's what players on contract years do, no matter the sport. I'm really interested in the center position. Greg, what say you?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that, dude, Dwayne Brown came back for a reason. He's been a left tackle. He's going to be a left tackle. I think Mekhi is going to play well. I think he's going to be healthy. He looks slim. He looks fit. He looks ready to go. I love that we got Joe Tippmann as a backup, but I think that, we're set with veterans across the league. There was that, I don't know if it was a NFL execs ranking or whatever it was. I don't know if you saw that, but Elijah Vera Tucker not being ranked in the top, whatever it was, 25 offensive linemen in the league is absolutely insane. So I think he's going to come back ready to go. He was the best offensive lineman maybe in the league when he was playing every position we needed him to at an all-star level. So
center. He just didn't play center.
Yeah, the only thing he didn't do was snap the ball. But other than that, dude, he filled in right, left, tackle, guard. It didn't matter. The dude was playing at an all-pro level at multiple positions for a pretty bad team, if we're being honest. So I think he's going to come back ready to go, dude. I'm so happy for him. I can't wait to see him get back here and rocking. So I'm ready for this offensive line. I think, barring injury, it's one of our best units on the field.
Wow. That's a hot take.
Dude, I really do. Our whole problem for the last 2 years has just been injury after injury after injury, specifically to the tackle position. If we can avoid that and these guys can get on the field together, get in a groove together, ride this wave that is Aaron Rodgers coming to town, I think there's a chance they're a top 10, top 15 unit in the NFL. And that's all you need when you have Aaron Rodgers back there, Breece Hall hopefully hitting home runs at the running back position, and all-star wide receivers around you.
So you think McGovern starting week 1?
I think so. I would let McGovern go. Let Tippmann learn. I think Tippmann's the next year answer. Barring any injury.
Next year.
Yeah.
I think that's too far. Honestly, Connor McGovern's never put in a full season, man.
Yeah.
I do think it's hard to bench a veteran coming out and then put him back in. That's just difficult. I do think Connor McGovern will start week 1, but listen, man, we have some pretty big boys in the first 6 weeks. He had some pretty crazy D lines, and it ends with the Eagles going into that bye week. I'm telling you, I feel like Joe Tippmann could be the guy coming out versus the Giants, who also have a pretty hefty defensive line. What
Yep.
worries me, Greg, is this is basically the offensive line that we've been fielding for the last year or so, and we've been bad. Like Dwayne Brown at left tackle, Laken Tomlinson at left guard, McConnell McGovern at center, Elijah Vera Tucker at right guard, Mekhi Becton right tackle, and then behind them Billy Turner or Max Mitchell. Like that's what we've been running for years, man. It feels like maybe a year, maybe 2 years now. Just I am worried about it. It feels like we made so many additions, mostly depth wise, right? I feel like Max Mitchell is an addition this year because I never thought he was coming back. Carter Warren, I am excited about him. We got Yadni Kajusti, those guys, Billy Turner, but nothing to really, excite me.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on the tight end position? This is another position where I am. Maybe it's just me at this point. Maybe it's a me thing, Greg. When you were cut off, I was talking about how there's always a player or two at the end of the depth charts in training camp that I'm just absolutely obsessed with. Whether it's Lawrence Cager, whether that's Bam Knight, one of these guys. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's just a tight end position that gets me going because Tyler Conklin, CJ Uzama are absolute locks. Then we have Jeremy Ruckert, who by all accounts has been amazing so far this offseason. And he's been hanging out there and I told him at the Garden with him. Right. I literally ran into him. I was like, Ruckert. He's like, what up? He's around the cool kids, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have our boy Kenny Yeboah. That's another guy who was like in the back of the chart. Who I'm like, all right, Kenny Yeboah, what's up? Zach Kuntz, rookie that we drafted. That's 5 already, Greg.
I think it's one of our deepest spots. I think we're gonna rock 3 tight ends. I think Kuntz is in trouble. I think Yeboah might be special teams or a practice squad guy. Ruckert, is gonna be learning still, growing. It's looked good this offseason. There's injuries. CJ Uzama's, knock on wood, he was good last season, but he gets banged up and stuff like that. And Tyler Conklin's been great, but he's not a top 10 tight end in the league. So there's opportunity.
Greg, that's one of my most underrated players this year on the entire New York Jets team.
Conklin?
I think Tyler Conklin is about to have an insane season. I really do. He wasn't even there for the OTAs. So he's really under the radar right now.
Yeah,
I think Conklin's gonna have a serious season. Man, look what he did with Zach Wilson. That's the perspective that we have to start getting in our brains.
Sure.
Look what he did with Zach. Look what Garrett Wilson did with Zach Wilson. Look what Breece Hall did with Zach Wilson. They're stacking the box against him. Look what he's doing. I'm excited by Tyler Conklin. The tight end position is a really exciting position for me. Running back, we never learned anything from training camp and Hall of Fame game and preseason, so I'm not even going to get excited about it, but I am excited to see Israel. I am excited to see Bam Knight, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Dye, we'll see. But talk to me about the defense, Greg. I know there's a problem at linebacker. I understand. But there's no real competition. It's CJ Mosley starting. It's Quincy Williams starting next to him with my boy Chad Surratt behind, which I can't believe he's actually on the roster at this moment. Jamie Sherwood and Hamza may be fighting for some depth. There's no real fight at the 3 cornerback spots, right? Maybe Bryce Hall fighting for depth. Maybe there's nothing there. What are you excited about camp competition specifically on the defensive side of the ball?
I'm excited to see, maybe someone takes over the number 2 linebacker spot. Maybe there's
it has to be Quincy. We paid him.
So maybe someone just is absolutely a dog in the preseason stuff and solidifies himself. Maybe solidifies himself as a 3 and then throughout the season gets an opportunity to play a few snaps and does really well. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see how these safeties shake out and what that looks like. So, there's a few different things I'm looking forward to, but that's some of them for the defense.
Is this the last time we're going to see Ashton Davis in a Jets jersey, or is he going to make it through?
I think him and Breece Hall are on their way out.
Bryce.
Excuse me, Bryce.
Chill out, bro.
Let me get that clear.
Chill out. Safety position, I think also this should be the last time we see Ashton Davis. However, Greg, who are you going to play instead of him in the depth chart? Right now, it's Amos and Whitehead. And behind them is Tony Adams. That's the guy I'm highlighting. I can't wait to see Tony Adams. And that's it. And then it's Ashton Davis. That's it, man. You got to keep him. I mean, if Chuck Clark has to tie his shoe, What are we gonna do?
Yeah, no, it's
Like,
true.
if Amos has to tie his shoe, what are we gonna do, man? Like, we're out of luck. So, I'm not really sure if Ashton Davis is gonna leave. I think he's gonna be here again, despite the fact that there's no longer any kickoffs really, because you can fair catch it anywhere under the 25 and go to the 25-yard line. So that's getting diminished a little bit. I do want to mention Bernard Converse, the safety from LSU. I don't know where he's going to end up playing exactly, but that's a player I have my eyes on, especially when it comes to training camp, especially when it comes to depth chart stuff. This is a guy who I'm going to be all over, right? He's not going to be able to crack the 3 cornerback spots. He's going to have to play a safety. Because he could technically fit in that weird, 3 safety, look that the Jets give sometimes with the 2 linebackers. That's why they tell us that they don't really care about the linebacker spot because they're only going to really play 2. They're going to play the 3rd safety, right? Okay, fine. I want to see number 29. I want to see Bernard Converse. I think he's going to be good. So on the defense for me, it's Bernard Converse. It's Tony Adams. Can Chaz Surratt actually do something, man? That'd be awesome.
That'd be cool.
I love Chaz Surratt, so that'd be cool.
That'd be cool, dude. It's the first time I think I talked about it a couple episodes ago, or a few months ago at this point, about how the first season Robert Saleh just had to play a very, very rudimentary basic defense. And then over the years now, he's gotten more to his wide 9, what he wants to run, the personnel that he wants. I think this is the first year really where it's fully up and running. Everyone's on the same page. Everyone knows what they're doing going into the season. Remember, going into last season, there was a lot of Jets Twitter fans talking about Ulbrich needs to be fired. Going into the season, and now we're a top 10 defense, number 1 defense in some categories, and we look like we're just studded out on defense. This is the least amount of holes I can remember having on a defense going into a season. So, in a long time. So,
Greg, when you look at our defensive line on paper, it's actually insane. Like John Franklin Myers, Quinnen Williams, Quentin Jefferson, Carl Lawson is an insane 4. Behind them, we have Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald on the edges. That's crazy. We have Solomon Thomas, who didn't have a great season, according to PFF. If you're watching tape, he had some frustrating plays. He also had some good plays. And then we have Al Woods. So we really have 3 defensive tackles, like Quinnen Williams, Quentin Jefferson, and Al Woods. We have, I would say, 5 real pass rushers in John Franklin Myers, in Carl Lawson, in Will McDonald, in Jermaine Johnson, in Bryce Huff. Sorry, 6. Michael Clemens. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I kind of want to.
I'm ready for Michael Clemens on Hard Knocks.
God, that's a good one. I'm ready for Michael Clemens on Hard Knocks for the whole world to meet Michael.
The whole world to see Michael Clemens.
I would guess that they're gonna do a whole segment on Solomon Thomas mental health awareness. That's a big guess of mine. But they're definitely gonna do a Justin Hardy piece, right? The vocal leader, special teams, gets everyone hyped. Definitely, I like that. But let me ask you this, Greg. Do you think that Bryce Huff is gonna make it the entire season on the New York Jets?
No.
And that's not an injury question. That's
no. I think he's gonna get traded for someone for a piece that we need.
Or is Bryce Huff that prototypical, as Greg leaves me in the middle of my question again, Greg, I'm going to kill you in your service. Is Bryce Huff the prototypical, and I'm going to say it, pass rusher who makes it to the Super Bowl or makes it to the AFC Championship and has such a big impact on the game that the team simply can't afford him, right? Is he going to be, our NBA version of Bruce Brown? Is he going to be the NFL version of, Clark? Is he? That's what I think Bryce Huff is going to be. I think Bryce Huff is going to be that guy who everybody knows physically cannot stay on the Jets next year because of, the depth because of, just how it looks, just the money is going to be his big contract. I'm very curious about it. Right, we put that second round tender on him this year. We obviously value him very high. He's obviously very good. However, he's used very sparingly, and now we added another edge in McDonald. It's really interesting what's going to happen with this Bryce Huff, Michael Clemens situation. Who's going to tell Michael Clemens that he can't play because Bryce Huff is ahead of him, or that because Will McDonald's ahead of him? I don't know. That's going to be a bit wild for me, but I do agree with Greg here. I do think Bryce Huff might not make it the whole season, but there's some part of my brain. I don't know what it is. There's some part of my brain. He's just going to be that guy that does so well in the playoffs and just kills it. And it's just, and we're going to be thinking, wow, the Jets are never going to have this team again. We're never going to have these players assembled here again, right? Because Chuck Clark, I know he's not here. He got injured, but he would be on, he's on a 1-year deal. So who knows if he's going to be back, right? We have Carl Lawson. Yeah, he restructured, but we don't know if he's going to be back, right? We had John Franklin Myers. His contract's running out. We don't know if he's going to be back. Whitehead, we don't know if he's going to be back. So things are going to change all over the defense. This is the 1 year where everyone's together. Feels like Bryce Huff is that last piece, that someone, like, I don't even know. Someone like the Cardinals next year is going to be like, yo, we have to pay this guy $15 million. Look at his numbers. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking at there. But man, Greg, am I excited about this Jets training camp? I am excited about this offseason. I'm excited about training camp being sold out. I'm going to be there for the Tampa Bay. Shout out to my boy Todd Bowles coming back into town. I love that. That's amazing. No Tom Brady, Todd Bowles, give it to me. Aaron Rodgers in town. We're going to crush. We are going to crush Todd Bowles' defense in practice. I want Aaron Rodgers to laugh at the Tampa Bay defense just like he laughed at our defense when we had to join practice with Green Bay. Oh, that would make me so happy, Greg. Nothing would make me happier on earth, actually. So that's a programming note here. We're working on some things. I know the YouTube. We're working on some things here because we're trying to transition into the full Jets season. We're going to start again with the 2 episodes, right? With the after the game, we're going to do the live right after. We're going to have the preview for Wednesday during the week. We're going to get the Knicks stuff going. We're going to change up the name here. We're going to do some stuff. All right. Some things are happening behind the scenes, but we'll be back here after the Panthers preseason game. Right. Yes. That's the note on our program for Knicks, Jets, etc. as it stands. So we'll talk to you then. But Greg, I forgot we haven't talked about this on air. The Hall of Fame game. First game coming up. Jets reporting into training camp less than a week away because of it. Tell me one thing, Greg. Tell me one freaking thing. Was I right about number 24? Was I right about Darrelle Revis? About all this hoopla about Darrelle Revis? Oh, he's the best Jet to ever. Oh, he's the best Jet to ever live. We love Revis. Come teach us. Let's look at him. Let's come back to the building, bro. He held out. He's the reason why Hard Knocks was a joke last time he's here. He went to the dark side.
Yeah.
Got a Super Bowl with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick in New England. What else do you want? What else do you want? You have to, I don't. And he came back and killed our cap for a past performance contract. What do we like about this guy? Now he's yelling at Joe Klecko, our boy.
Yeah, he's wilding on Twitter streets.
Dude, I think I was right about
Samuel are going nuts.
I think I was right about Darrelle Revis being
I think so too.
A not so great guy. Yelling at Nick Mangold. However, the Asante Samuel stuff was amazing. And shout out to Hoodie Johnson, our boy Lee Valentin. Go catch him at his comedy shows in the city. Season ticket jet holder. But you all know him as Hoodie Johnson. That was a really good bit by him. As Asante Samuel. Oh man. So in the Twitter streets, Revis is wilding. he should just shut his mouth, man. I don't know what he's trying to prove out here. He was a good defensive player. I had his jersey. He was cool. But he went to the Patriots and he won a Super Bowl and he came back and he was annoying. He held out, caused a circus for us, Rex Ryan, the whole thing. So I'm not on the Revis bandwagon like everyone is. He was great. I love him, but I'm glad everyone is coming home a little bit when it comes to number 24 and the New York Jets. I promised a little bit of an update here on the Knicks as well. If you're still here, it's enough of the Jets talk. So if you only here for the Jets, thanks for coming. Subscribe to our YouTube, hit us up on Apple, Spotify. But otherwise, Knicks stuff, man. The New York Knicks Summer League. Jalen Martin, QJ Jefferson. I mean, they had a great summer league. It was really fun to watch. Jericho Sims is coming back. It wasn't all the hoopla that it's been the last couple of years. Yes, I agree. Emmanuel Quickley's not there. Obadiah's not there. Shout out to Obadiah. Shout out to Obi. We'll get that. We'll get to that in a second. But I'm excited where the Knicks farm system is going. Shout out to Coach Dice. All right, one of the assistants. He was a coach for the summer league. The QJ Jefferson, the QJ story was unbelievable. You have to hear his perspective about the summer league. I love that Coach Tibbs is watching tape on summer league and telling the guys how to be good and literally making lineup changes with the assistant coach in summer league. I mean, get to a coach who loves basketball, loves your team as much as Coach Tibbs. No matter what anyone says, man, he loves basketball so much, and I love him so much for loving basketball so much. So the Knicks summer league, that was nice. They showed that their farm system is looking good. I'm excited to see some of those boys play in Westchester. I don't think any of those players are going to be playing on the NBA Knicks this year. All right, so there's nothing like that to be excited about, which for Knicks fans is weird. That is not what we're used to the last couple of years. Usually, those players are fighting for minutes, right? On the other hand, with the trade deadline, Greg, and this is where I want to hear some of your insight here, man. I mean, not trade deadline. We had the opening, the free agency. Knicks team-friendly player option with Josh Hart, promised to pay him more, which is team-friendly on the deal. Moving Obi for nothing, opening up some money. Evan Fournier is going to get traded 100%. Is there a deal out here for the Knicks, Greg, that you see coming? Is there a deal that you want to see coming, or are you just trying to run it back right now?
Just run it back. I mean, dude, what was Obi, an 8th overall pick, 9th overall pick? And we traded him for 2 second-rounders. I mean, that's not going to lead to a win. That's not a winning formula. So I think that historically the Knicks have not been great in these offseason, big-time trade deals. Like there was Paul George was getting thrown around a couple weeks ago. Big names get thrown around, tons of first-round picks. I think that's so stupid. To your point, I think the farm system, some of the guys we've been drafting over the last few years have been turning out okay. Just keep rocking with what we got. Jalen Brunson looks like he's the real deal. I still hate Julius Randle, but it is what it is. Just let it rock.
Hate him all you want. He's here forever. Unless Joel Embiid, which came out in the news today, he made some noise because he had an interview and they're taking stuff out of context and aggregating it. If it's for Joel Embiid, yeah, I see Randle. Otherwise, guys, Randle's here forever. That's it.
So
move on. He's here. He's here forever. If you want to talk big players getting traded, you think Grimes and RJ, but really RJ. Like that's the big guy that'll get traded.
Stephen A had the clip a couple days ago about how KD and Kyrie cost himself $500 million by going to the Nets over the Knicks. I think that's 100% true. I think people are realizing that. So I think just let it rock. Keep making the playoffs. Keep developing this young talent. But eventually we'll start getting people to sign here and just sign people in the free agency. Keep your picks. Keep drafting. That's the winning formula. Don't try to be the Suns and make this super team out of nowhere. It's never going to work. Just keep riding it out. I'm happy with the playoffs for right now for the Knicks. I don't have championship aspirations for this team.
But honestly, though, who are you scared of in the East? Who in the East?
The Celtics, the Heat, the Bucks.
Okay, hold on. Celtics with Kristaps Porzingis and Malcolm Brogdon and no Marcus Smart. You're scared of them, and Jaylen Brown about to get paid. Oh, I am not. I'm not. They're not.
Yeah, I mean that's insane. They have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They're better. Both those guys are better than like head and shoulders better above Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle.
Yeah, but we have a full team. I mean, they even lost Grant Williams, who is defending their best player. They don't. I'm not scared of them in the playoffs. They're not a juggernaut to me, right? You move on to the Heat. Let's say they don't do anything right now. They're a joke of a team. Let's say they do trade for Dame Lillard. They're gonna have nobody. It's gonna be the three, yes, Bam, Jimmy, and Dame, and literally nobody else. Like I don't even think Highsmith is gonna be on the team. So I think he's gonna get traded. Like literally nobody's gonna be on the team. I don't know how that's a winning formula, right? Let's jump to the Bucks. They're looking at the guy who was swearing by the Bucks all season. Why is nobody talking about the Bucks? Take a feature on the Bucks. This is the year that Jan's gonna kill it. Brook Lopez, defensive player of the year. Nobody's talking about them. Drew Holiday says he's gonna retire in a couple of years. Like, this is the year. They get hurt every single year. Middleton's back, great. Giannis hurt. Okay. I mean, if I had to rank them, yes, I'm scared of the Bucks more than anybody else. But okay, let's say I'll give you those three teams. Even though I don't really agree, I really agree with one. I'll give you the three. Knicks gonna be the 4th seed. Like, okay, I just
that's what I'm saying. Make the playoffs, be competitive. I don't think, dude, I think we got so exposed by the Heat. Like you're talking about how you don't need a big team, you need a big team to make it run. You don't need a big team. You just need better players. You need 3 better players than the other team. And the Heat had 3 better players than our best players.
So a big thing with the Heat, they lost Gabe Vincent. I know on paper nobody cares about that, but he's going to be a huge asset for the Los Angeles Lakers, man. He's going to be the biggest X factor, and everyone's going to fall in love with him because he's in LA. But look, the Knicks got DiVincenzo, and everybody's laughing at it because he's from Villanova, and he's just some guy.
I like him though.
Yeah, in Golden State, he's a beast, man. DiVincenzo's a beast. That's what we're missing versus the Heat. We're missing defense in the perimeter, and we're missing a 3-point shooter, right? Josh Hart, when he pretended to be a 3-point shooter, that's when we won the games. When RJ decided to play like he was out of this world, that's when we won the games, man. I am excited about this Knicks season, dude. The East is weak. The East is weak. Chicago stinks. Orlando stinks. Like I'm not.
The East is weak. I agree with you. Like DiVincenzo, like
the Pacers stink.
He's what we need, but we don't need DiVincenzo. We need like a high caliber DiVincenzo. That's where I think you and I disagree. You need people that are higher level than Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle to compete for a championship. So we don't have that right now. I don't think we should trade 4 first-round picks and RJ Barrett and a bunch of assets to get one of the 3 guys we need. So just give it some time. I think if we get 2 guys with Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, now we're all of a sudden we're talking.
You want me to tell you my prediction right here before we move on to a little update on the Yankees and Mets before we get out of here?
Oh, sure. I might freeze again and disconnect if we want to talk about the Mets. Just throwing that out there. This time it's on purpose.
I think number 45, Donovan Mitchell, is going to request a trade at the trade deadline.
And I hope we don't trade for him.
And to go to the New York Knicks. I legitimately think that's going to happen.
Yeah, sure. Dude, you had your chance. I don't know what to tell you.
No, it's going to be cheaper. It's going to be cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, what are we going to what will we trade for him? 2 first-round picks and a player?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I do think that's what it would be.
It's terrible.
Yeah. Maybe even 2 players. They love Mitch Robinson. They think Mitch Robinson is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So.
That's insane, dude. Just don't dude, as the NBA market has gone absolutely bonkers with trading for players like Rudy Gobert, 5 first-round picks.
Well, that's never going to happen again. That's never going to happen again.
Good. I hope it never happens again. But even some of these other players, 3 first-round picks, what are we doing right now? Dude, just calm down. I get that the NBA draft isn't as good as some of the other drafts in other leagues, but just chill out. Keep the picks. Let's make this thing happen.
The Knicks have a million picks. The Knicks have a million picks.
I keep hearing that, but we didn't have any picks this season. All I hear from people is we have a million picks. We didn't have anywhere in the first round this year.
We traded for Josh Hart. Pretty good first round.
Great. That's what I'm saying. We traded for Josh Hart. Stop trading these picks.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Stop doing it.
That was a good trade.
Yeah, Josh Hart was great for a series.
No, but here's the thing, man. Because you traded for Josh Hart, he was able to pick up that player option, the team friendly, which now you could extend them on your own books. If you don't do that, you can't. You have to literally now decide: do you want DiVincenzo or do you want Josh Hart? And guess what? If you just pick one of them, it's not going to do anything. Now we could have both.
All I'm saying is I'd rather have a first round pick this year than Josh Hart.
It would have been who? Oh man, I should know this off the top of my head. I'll pull it up. I
I
forgot who got
the 20th overall pick,
yeah,
25th overall pick.
Yeah.
It's a fucking lottery ticket. Who knows what's going to happen with the 25th overall pick? I know what I'm getting with Josh Hart.
Yeah, it's good. I like what I got with Josh Hart.
It's good. It's not great. I need great if we're going to win something. It's good.
No, I like Josh Hart. Come on.
Yeah, I like Josh Hart too. He's cool. He's a New York guy. Got the New York stuff going. Got the braids, all that stuff. He likes music. Okay, cool. But dude, we're trying to win championships here, my guy. Josh Hart ain't doing it for you.
Bro, I mean, we have made some great draft picks. I agree. But we also drafted Trevor Keels. So let's just chill out.
Yeah, right. Hey, I'm not saying we're great in the drafting department, but I want the picks. I want a shot.
All right. Well, all I know is the Knicks are going to win the first ever midseason tournament.
Yes.
I can't wait. I'm going to hang up a banner.
Excited.
I'm going to literally
Everyone's going to sit. We're going to win that chicks.
Greg. Greg cutting out again, yo. Freaking upstate New York and this heat. Sheesh. All right. Give you a little bit of a Yankees update here before we get a little Mets update from Greg. But real quick on the Knicks, on the NBA midseason tournament. Split up into groups. Looks like the World Cup. However, those are regular season games. Like, you're not WNBA already does this. You don't even know that they count for something else, right? Like in soccer, in the English Premier League, their number one league, they have a different cup called the FA Cup, which the games don't count for the these games count for the NBA regular season. The only difference is the Final Four. Like, they have a Final Four in Vegas. Those four don't count for the actual regular season standings. Right. So then that's where the money comes in, where the player incentive, you get, what is it, like $500,000 if you win, stuff like that. So I do think the players are going to care about it. I do think that whoever wins the championship is going to get clowned, no matter who it is. Literally, you could pick any team. If it's the Warriors, they're going to get clowned. If it's LeBron, he's going to get clowned. If it's the Knicks, like literally any team, Orlando, no matter who wins this midseason tournament, they're going to get clowned for it. So I'm ready to embrace it. I'm really excited about it. But to the Yankees, man, oh man, are our baseball teams down bad. And dude, how can you write up this script? I mean, going into this season, yes, the New Jersey Devils, they got a good player, but they were supposed to stink. They played absolutely amazing, right? The Rangers are supposed to be absolutely amazing. We got Patrick Kane, they stunk. Right?
Yep.
The Yankees and the Mets, like everywhere I look, it was like Yankees or Mets to win World Series minus or like minus 110, like the field, like -2. Like, what are we talking about? The Yankees and the Mets suck right now.
Terrible.
It is the worst baseball I've seen, and every time I think the Yankees are on the come up, right? Because I can't pay attention to more than one crappy baseball team. I literally can't. So whenever I think the Yankees are more of a come up, they just fall right to the ground, right? I'm like, oh, okay. Rodon is coming back. I was getting hyped about the pitching, right? I'm just in my own lane. Everyone's freaking out about the hitting. We had a couple bad games. Okay, we lost like 15-1 or whatever it was. And it was like, oh, we only got one hit, one run. Sure, we gave up 15. Even if everyone, goes 4 for 4, we're probably still going to lose that game. So, in my opinion, the pitching was coming together. Right, I can't stand Wandy, but he was, he's doing all right. I can't stand Clark Schmidt, but okay, like something's happening. Apparently, Clark Schmidt, when you put him in a trade rumor, he's Babe Ruth. But when he pitches, he's the worst pitcher. I don't understand. I don't get it. People are watching different things. Josh Donaldson now, after the season, okay, things are looking good, right? Aaron Judge, he looks like he might come back. Stanton on a tear, but we're losing to the Rockies. We can't beat the Rockies. We can't beat the Cubs. Bro, what is going on, man? Oh, my God. I'm dying watching these Yankees. We're in the league where half the league makes the playoffs, the extra wild card spot. I can't believe the Yankees right now are looking out. And it's so interesting. They're looking out. Third is the Houston Astros. I mean, the MLB this year is absolutely bananas, right?
Yeah.
The Pirates were on top. The Reds were on top. Now they've fallen from grace. The Angels were on top for a second. Ohtani might be traded. Man. What are your thoughts on the baseball, man? What are your thoughts on the Yankees? What are your thoughts on the Mets? Is Ohtani coming to New York? What's up?
I hope so. It sucks. They suck. We all suck. I mean, dude, the Mets have been so bad. It's a fatal combination of the pitching's not good and the hitting's not good. That never equates to anything good
Showalter's
for your
gone, huh?
team.
Showalter's gone.
What's up?
Showalter's gone. Buck.
Yeah, I think so. Unless we can turn this season around. I don't know what's happened. I can't, as a fan, I can't pinpoint what the issue is. Um, no one's looked good. The whole team, no one's looked good. I think there's a chance that maybe it's just we were reading our own press clippings going into the season, and the whole entire team just got a little too confident, a little too excited, and we stink. But dude, our pitching is terrible, and we can't hit a freaking baseball. I mean, what are you supposed to do? You go to play the Dodgers, you just get absolutely smoked every single game. It's like, what are we doing? We have better odds to win the World Series than they did going into the season. So I just don't understand where we're at right now. It's crazy. It's tough to see, and of course, as always, the Braves are the best team in baseball. So I have to watch that every single day on my Twitter feed. It's like, all right, we get it. They hit 6 home runs. Like, all right, like cool.
Dude,
Like,
the
what are we
Braves
doing?
are unbelievable.
Yeah, the best team like the world has ever seen. And I'm here, like, dude, I have Verlander or Scherzer. What's going on? Like, can we do anything?
Alonso, Lindor. Yo, whenever I see like the top contracts and Lindor's name is on it, it blows my mind every time.
Dude.
It actually and I remember the days when I was a stupid Yankee fan. Oh, we need Lindor. We need Lindor.
Dude,
Oh my God.
Lindor's been fine. Like, that's the only thing that I
Yeah.
will say. Like, and maybe I'm a crazy Mets fan, but the fact that he didn't get put in this All-Star game and the people that they're putting in over him is absolutely insane.
Can I play the honest card for a second here? I'm watching the All-Star game, bro. I know like half the players. Like, like it started to be hockey for me. Like, I know half the MLB players. I know everybody on the Yankees. I know everybody in the AL East. But then it falls off pretty hard for me. Like, starting pitchers around the AL, yes, but like, man, I don't know a relief pitcher. On the Mariners, dude. No way. I legit don't. I didn't know a single bullpen player.
Yeah, it goes for me. It comes and goes with how the Mets are. Like last season, I was really into baseball, so like I have the MLB Network. I was watching, all the games. I was gambling all over the place, so I knew people. Like this season, I'm not. So
yeah, this year baseball sucks.
Yeah,
all right. That's our quick hits on the Knicks and baseball here. We hope you enjoyed that little etc. piece, but we have to get it off our chest. We love sports. We're here for it. But of course, this episode was about the New York Jets. Training camp is here. Hall of Fame game is here. Carolina Panthers game is here. No Sam Darnold anymore. Shout out to him. Greg, have you watched the quarterback series on Netflix?
No, I haven't yet.
Dude, it's really good. I'm like savoring it. Like, I don't want to keep pressing the continue button because I don't want it to end. It's really good. Obviously, the ranking is Mahomes, Kirk Cousins, Mariota, and everything in life, but also in the show. It's really cool. A lot of cool insight about the game and how they get prepared and everything they say on the sideline. I mean, it's a really cool insight. I wonder if Aaron Rodgers is going to be on next year. It's gonna be really interesting. Maybe like another rookie like Anthony Richardson. I don't know. It's going to be cool. Another guy who might get cut like Mariota. It would be. This could be way better than Hard Knocks in my opinion. With no knock to Hard Knocks. Pun intended. All right. That wraps it up for this episode. I'll see my way out after that terrible pun. You know what it is. Thank you for joining us. Ashley's off the chain. Thanks for joining us. Hitting us up in the comments. If you're watching us on YouTube, even if you're not watching us on YouTube, just go to it, like and subscribe to us. They lowered the subscriber monetization, so hit us up there. We'd really appreciate it. We are on Apple, Spotify, Amazon on all the audio. So if you give us a 5-star, leave us a comment there. We appreciate that. We're also on the Fanside Network. That's where we're assigned to. We're a fan-sided podcast. We're on the Jet Press. We're on the Daily Knicks, so hit us up there. And yeah, if you have any comments about the Jets, you have any questions, hit us up. Who are you excited about in the training camp? What do you want to see the Knicks do? What are your thoughts on this treacherous baseball season? Are you hyped about hockey? Messi's in Miami. Women's World Cup. Men's national team, Gold Cup. Like, tell us what you're hyped about. Let us know. Let us know what you think about this Jets preseason and really what you want to see come out of it. Because when we come back, we're going to be in full throttle and we're going to do our annual Jets predictions. So that'll be fun. Other than that, it's Greg. Any last words for the people?
No, man, ready for this. I'm ready to go full throttle. Like, I'm looking, I was trying to see if the VSiN college football preview's out yet. I'm ready. I'm looking at, may or may not renew the fantasy dynasty league this week. Get those juices going a little bit, see who's on the roster, who's ready to go. Like, I'm gearing up, but I also want to enjoy the summer. So, taking a little break. If anything major comes up, we'll be on, we'll cover it, we'll talk about it. We'll be here to, interact with you guys. Like, subscribe, let us know what you think in the comments. And then once the season comes back, it's going to be bigger and better than ever. Very excited for this season. It's going to be incredible.
Let's go. Let's go Jets. Did you see Aaron Rodgers with the Jets, Jets chant?
So
Let's
sexy.
Go. Jets. And yo, go check out Lee Valentin's Twitter. Just came out right now with the Hoodie Johnson sells out practice tape.
Love it.
You gotta go watch it. Love you guys. Peace out. Let's go Jets. Jets.